Today, I want to talk about something I don't think is getting enough attention as we head into the 2026 Met Gala. This year's Met Gala theme is costume art, and the dress code is fashion is art. Everyone is focused on celebrities, designers, and the spectacle of the red carpet and the Met Gala steps. But I'm watching something else. I'm watching the athletes because last year was described as one of the sportiest Met Galas in recent memory. And this year, with Venus Williams as co chair, I don't think that influence goes away. If anything, I think the sports influence on the Met Gala deepens with Venus Williams as one of the co chairs of this year's Met Gala. Venus Williams isn't just an athlete, she's a designer, she's a huge cultural figure, and she understands her body as both an instrument and as a message, which is exactly what this year's theme costume art is asking for. And that shift, the recognition of athletes as artists, is something I think we're going to see all over the red carpet. Because when we talk about costume art, we're really talking about the relationship between the garment and the body. And there is no body more consciously trained, more intentional, or more disciplined than an athlete's body. Athletes live in their bodies in a way most people don't. Every moment is trained, every gesture is repeated, every performance is intentional. Athleticism is one of the most disciplined forms of performance we have. It's repetition, it's precision, expression, all happening through the body. And when you add meaning to that, you're no longer just watching sport, you're watching art. And this is why I'm hoping the Met Gala continues with their sporty trend, because with a theme like costume art, when you have athletes, this is a group of disciplined people who already understand their body as a medium. Last year, designer Sergio Hudson dressed multiple WNBA players for the Met Gala, including members of the New York Liberty. I believe he dressed Sabrina Ionesco, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquel Jones. And that wasn't random. That was a designer recognizing that athletes are not outside of fashion. And when you bring athletes into a space like the Met Gala, especially under a theme like costume art, the conversation changes because now the body is part of the design. So, naturally, with me being a style expert and former athlete, there are a few athletes I'll be watching very closely this year. Angel Reese, because she understands presence, confidence, and visibility in a very intentional way. She operates as a brand. I'll also be watching for Jalen Hurts because although his style is very controlled and minimal, he always shows up with this suave persona that I'm really interested to see how he translates that into the theme costume art. Then there's Noah Lyles, and I'm a track girly, so I'm really excited about him and his possible attendance at the Met Gala. He's coming off of a really big year already. He made the Times 100 most influential people's list. He also just married a longtime girlfriend who's also a track athlete from Jamaica. And Noah Lyles just approaches everything he does with so much personality. He loves fashion. He takes every fashion moment very seriously. Oh, and his wedding to Janelle was covered in Vogue wedding. So I'm really excited to see how Noah Lyles approaches the Met Gala this year. I will also be waiting with bated breath for Naomi Osaka. Naomi is someone I've spent time really paying attention to, especially after doing a deep dive on her Australian Open look and its significance. And what that reaffirmed for me is how deliberate she is about using fashion to honor her identity. Naomi takes fashion very seriously. And as a female athlete, she understands that her body is never neutral. It carries meaning, it carries history, and it can be used for a vessel for storytelling. So I'm especially interested in how she might translate her Japanese heritage into costume art and what story she chooses to tell through her presence. And that honestly is the thread connecting all of these athletes. Before the garment even arrives, when you're an athlete, your body is already a statement. As we head into the 2026 Met Gala, I'm less interested in who shows up in the most dramatic look, and I'm more interested in who understands the assignment. because costume art isn't about dressing up. It's very different from costume design. It's about using the body and the garment together to say something. And athletes, they've been doing this their entire careers. So while everyone else is watching for the spectacle and the steps, of course, I'll be watching for intentions and I'll be watching the athletes. Because when purpose and style come together, you show up as your best self. I'll see you next time. Until then, be stylish on purpose. Bye.